Welcome back. Today we are going to see the rest of the concepts in Prolog programming. In the last lecture we have seen the basics aspects of logic programming. What are the basic building blocks? Then we started with the introduction of Prolog programming. We have seen the basic structure of writing a program in Prolog. Here in the today's lecture we will see how to write some complex programs and what are the other programming features in the Prolog programming. In order to practice the Prolog programming language, it is recommended to go through the SWI programming Prolog compiler, SWI Prolog compiler. Then for that you may go to the swiprolog.org. You can download the SWI Prolog for Windows. It is of around 12 MB size, or you may try it online. You can download here or you may try it online. If you try online, then online compiler will be opened. So in this you have create a program and a notebook here. So you can go for clicking of create a program. So whatever the facts and rules are there, you can type at the left hand side, and the queries that what you want to fire, that you can fire it here and click run. Then you will get the results in this box. So this online compiler have the features such as it provides you a tutorial, Prolog tutorial and SWI SH tutorials, in which you require to know only the Prolog tutorial. You have to go through the Prolog tutorial, and at the same time you have various examples in this in the Prolog language. So if you click on examples, then many number of examples you can find. So it is very easy for knowing the new topics or new way of programming just by following the examples. Anyhow, I have provided you some material in the lecture section only. So it is recommended to go through that material and also practice each and every program that I have provided, and also the questions that are provided in the tutorial. So the facts are the basic units of the Prolog programming. Facts are written like this. If a statement is like this: elephant is bigger than horse, then the bigger that the feature should be written like this, which is called functor, and the parameters are the objects that are used for comparison. So this is the way always the facts should be written. And there are simple facts and complex facts. These are the simple facts which are given here. Next, checking whether a query or firing a query based on the facts will be done like this: bigger of donkey comma dog. If donkey is bigger than dog, and if this fact is available in the rule set, then the result will be yes, otherwise it will be no. So this is the way the rules are going to be formed. And while forming the rules, one more thing is conditional forms or complex rules to be framed. The complex rule to be framed like this: we are supposed to use colon hyphen, which means if, comma means and. This particular rule will be this particular rule is said to be satisfied only if both rules are satisfied. That means is underscore bigger of x comma y, and bigger of x comma z, and is bigger of z comma y. If both are true or both are s, then only this particular is underscore bigger of x comma y is true. Let now consider the example. male of Rama. Here the Rama's lineage along with Dasratha, Lava and Kusha was given. Here the ultimate task is to identify the father and mother of given two objects, and based upon the facts given here, these rules and these rules are going to be defined. And once we fire the query on these rules, it has to return either true or false. This will be decided based on the facts we feed it into the program. Here the Dasratha lineage. Here Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. These are the facts stating that Rama is a male, and here Bharata is a male, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, Dasratha. These are the people who are under male category. Next is fact stating Kausalya is a female. Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi and Sita. These are the four characters under female category. Here and Kaikeyi is parent of Bharata, and Sumitra is parent of Lakshmana. Like that, Sita is the parent of Lava. The same way here, parent of Dasratha, Rama. Dasratha is parent of Rama. Like that, fact stating that Dasratha is the parent of Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. And here Rama is the parent of Lava and Rama is the parent of Kusha. Next rule to be formed here is father of XY means he must be the parent, at the same time he should be of male category. Similar rule for the X being mother of Y. How can you check whether the given two objects, first object is the mother of second object? Both should be parents. Both is of X. That first object is the parent of the second object, and that first object must be female. So in this way we are going to say that whether the first object is father of second object or not. Now what we'll do is just we'll copy this code and we'll go to the SY Prolog compiler and we'll paste here. Now here we can form a rule that father of Lava, father of Rama, Lava. So whenever you click run, it will give you true. The reason is Rama is father of Lava, that means parent of X, Y. Rama is parent of Lava, that means a fact was defined here, and at the same time and male of X. So the first argument is Rama, it is male of Rama. So here two combinations which is giving you the result Rama. Father, and here another rule that I am going to form is mother of Sita, Kusha. So it has to give you true. The reason is Sita is mother of Kusha and mother is of type character female. So this is the way how facts must be loaded, then rules will be formed and queries will be fired on it. So this is the way of improving the human and machine or computer, or we can say robot interaction. So in this way this Prolog programming is useful for the artificial intelligence applications. Next we will move on to some other concepts in Prolog programming. So far we have seen compiling the Prolog program in the online compiler. I told you that there exists a setup file. You can also download that. It's of around 12 MB. You can install on your desktop. Once you install, go to start button and open the SWI Prolog. It looks like this. From file, open the new, and I have opened a file. I have opened a file and copied and pasted the same program here and saved as raghuvamsa.pl, because this lineage belongs to Raghuvamsa. So that reason I copied and pasted the entire program and saved it as raghuvamsa.pl. So here Prolog programs should be saved with .pl extension. So once it is once it is saved, now you need to run it on the command prompt. So the question mark hyphen is the command prompt here, which is showing here. So we need to load it in the command prompt. So for that you are supposed to use the command within the square brackets. You have to give the path of the PL file. So this particular PL file was saved in my user Raghuvamsi documents. So I have to give this particular file path, and so enter. So don't forget, any command should be ended with dot. So it is giving you true. It means that the file was loaded. Now we'll see firing of a query on this rule set or fact set. I have given the query parent of Sita comma Lava. So it is giving you true as the answer. That means Sita is the parent of Lava. I am giving you one more. I am giving one more command, parent of capital X comma Lava. So capital letter, any word that starts with capital letter represents variable. So it will return X is equal to Sita. So that means Sita is the parent of Lava. That means you don't know who is the parent. If you want to get that parent name, you have to go for using the variable like this, capital X. Another query that I have fired is father of Rama comma X. That means Rama is the father of whom? One is Lava. So it is showing you Lava as the answer. Another query that I have fired is father of Rama comma underscore. Underscore represents the placeholder. It does not mean that a variable. It's actually the variables will also start from with underscore, and also simple underscore can also be used as a variable. But underscore is considered as a placeholder. That means whether the Rama is father of anyone in the given set of facts. So that means it is giving you underscore. That means underscore will give you that irrespective of anyone, any object. That means since Rama is father of at least one object in the given fact list, it is returning true. Next, matching variables. Born of Mary comma Yorkshire is equal to born of Mary comma X. So this Yorkshire is assigned to X, and now it will be checked whether really Mary born in the Yorkshire or not. In the same way, here from the lineage of Dasharatha, Rama, Lava, so father of Rama comma Lava is equal to father of Rama comma X. X is equal to Lava. It means whether Rama is father of Lava or not. If so, X is assigned to Lava, and it will give you the the assignment. So this is called matching. So whether this left hand side function and right hand side function is matched or not is going to be verified in this. So far, whatever the things we have discussed are the general Prolog way of constructs. Now, like functional programming language scheme, Prolog also supports lists. So how these lists are going to be declared? One of the most useful data structure in Prolog are lists. The objective of this lecture is to show you that how the lists are represented in the Prolog. So in Prolog, in the scheme language, lists are enclosed within the normal brackets, but here we use square brackets. So, and in functional languages, we never use comma to separate the objects, but here we use comma, that is elephant comma horse comma donkey comma dog, like that. So lists are enclosed in the square brackets. Their elements could be any Prolog term. It may be empty list like a simple square bracket without any elements in this. So another example is a comma capital X. This is empty list, that is we are going to use sublist also in this. And you may also pass a functor with some parameters and a simple element with some three elements within a subset. So like that you can include anything in the list. Internally the list will be represented like this for the a comma b comma c, but it will be corresponding to the terms dot within the brackets a comma dot within bracket b comma dot within bracket c comma empty list and close the brackets. That means this is just a new notation. Internally lists are just compound terms with the functor. Here dot is used as a special atom and empty list as an argument to the innermost level. That means we are going to see this entire list in terms of atoms. Means if you see it in terms of atom, then bracket open a comma dot. Dot means it is used for the concatenation. That means it will be represented within the list like this. So we can verify this in the Prolog program like this. X is equal to dot bracket a comma dot bracket b comma dot c comma empty list. Then finally it will give you the value as x is equal to a b c, and finally it will give you true as the value or s as the value. The next notation is bar notation. Here the bar notation is used to put just before the last term in the list. It means that this list term does not denotes a sublist. That means we are going to represent a sublist to concatenate with the previous atoms. Then for example a comma b comma c comma d is there, is same as a comma b. This is the concatenation with the sublist c comma d. As a result it will give you the same result, that is a comma b comma c comma d. The most important topic or concept in the list operations is head and tail. This head and tail is like a CAR and CDR in the scheme language. The first element is called list. First element of the list is called as its head, and the rest of the elements is called as its tail. It is just like if you want to pick up the head from the given list, then you need to look for the head, like CAR in scheme language. And by leaving the head, rest of the elements you can find it in the tail, that is CDR in the scheme language. A special case of bar notation with exactly one element before the bar is called the head and tail pattern. It can be used to extract the head or tail from the list. For example, elephant, horse, tiger, dog, which is equal to head or tail. In such a cases, the elephant is the object will be assigned to head, and horse, tiger, dog will be assigned to tail. So this is the way how the head and tail will function. Here a simple example was written: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is equal to head or tail. That means head will be assigned with 1 and tail will be assigned with the rest of the elements. So head is equal to 1 and tail is equal to 2, 3, 4 and 5. What is the case if there exists only one element and head and tail was applied? Look at the example. There exists only one element called elephant, which is equal to x hyphen y, which represents head and tail. Always the first element in the list will be assigned to the head. If rest of the list is empty after assigning the first element, then the tail will show the empty list. So the tail of list is always a list itself. The head of the list is an element of that list. The head could also be a list itself, but it is usually not. That means here head and tail both will be considered as the lists only, but in general X will always be represented with the elements, but Y will always will be represented with lists. If no elements exist after removing the first element in the given list, then always it will represent the empty list. Now the question is how to concatenate two lists and assign to a variable which is passed as the third argument. That means here are the three arguments available: concat underscore list. Here a predicate was written here like this, but this is the one that you are supposed to define on your own. There exists no default predicate available. Concatenate underscore list of 1, 2, 3, 4 and dog, cow, tiger, L. Now it should return L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, dog, cow and tiger. So what is the solution that you can think of to append one list to the another list? The solution is quite simple. Get the head of the second list and keep on adding to the first list at the end of the first list, we can say. So the predicate concat underscore list by 3, that means concat underscore list is a functor with 3 arguments, is implemented recursively. The base case is 1 when one of the list is empty. In every recursion step we take off the head and use the same predicate again with the tail until we reach the base case. So this is the way you are supposed to write the program. That means you have to define the rule so that the two lists second list will be appended to the first list. Next, there exists some built-in predicates for list manipulation. One is append. So it is appending of two lists, same as our concat underscore list by 3 as previously what we have seen. Append of 1, 2, 3, list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this list will give you what are the elements that have been appended to the list. That is first list. If the elements of the first list supplied to the append is same with the append, that is list supplied with the for the second list, then those elements will be eliminated. Only it will print what are the new elements that have been appended. So here in the first list 1, 2, 3 is there, in the second list 1, 2, 3 is there. So these 3 elements will not be shown in the output, but 4, 5 will be shown in the output. In the same way, length function. This length function will take a list and the size variable. Finally, it will print how many elements are there in the list, which is called length of the list. Next function is membership function. Member of tiger, list of elements or list of objects, dog, tiger, elephant and horse. Whether tiger is a member of list or not. So obviously tiger is present in the given list, so it will print S. Here, in order to get all objects iteratively from a list, we are supposed to use a simple variable, member of X. X means you are going to get an element, whatever the element it may be, X comma the list. Now here, whenever you press enter, then X is equal to dog. Then if you put a semicolon, then it will get the next element in the list, tiger. If you put a semicolon and enter, then we will get the elephant. Afterwards there is no element available, hence we will get no as the output. So that means you are going to iterate it in throughout this list with the help of variable x. Here we'll see Dasharatha is the father of how many children, that we want to check here. That means father of Dasharatha comma x. So I have typed wrongly. Now x is equal to Rama. Then if you put a semicolon, then x is equal to Bharata. Next semicolon, x is equal to Lakshmana and Shatrugna. So that means whenever you whenever you give semicolon, so it will iterate and will print recursively that what are the other objects for which Dasharatha is the father. That means it will go for backtracking. Whenever you mention the semicolon, it will go for backtracking. Consider the rule given here: show of list if member of element comma list and write of element, and NL means new line, and fail. Here fail is a built-in predicate that always fails. What happen if you submit a query like the following one: show of elephant comma horse comma donkey comma dog? Yes, ultimately it will present the list of elements in the given list. Okay, so this particular thing will give you list, and finally we'll say no. The no means here no more element available after presenting whatever the elements available in the list. The fail at the end of the rule causes Prolog to backtrack. The subgoal member of element comma list is the only choice point in every backtracking cycle. A new element of list is matched with the variable element. Eventually the query fails and will present no. Otherwise what will happen? The program will continuously check for is there any next element available or not. Since because we have written fail as the last termination condition, so once the list of elements was printed, if no more element is there, it will go for printing of no and stops the program. Some more built-in predicates: reverse. It is very easy to reverse the given list. Reverse of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, x. Then the variable x will present the reversed list. In case of functional language like scheme, the arithmetic expressions was written in the predefined format, but here we are supposed to use directly in the infix format. That is in scheme language prefix will be used, and here it is infix. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, then it is giving you no. That means it is giving you an error that we cannot compute 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. What is the problem in this actually? The reason is the term 3 plus 5 and 8 do not match. The reason is when we are interested in the sum of these numbers 3 and 5, we can't get it through matching. But how we can get it? Via arithmetic evaluation. In order to perform the arithmetic evaluation, we have to use a keyword called is. That means variable capital X is 3 plus 5. Then we will get the value as x is equal to 8. So if you want to go for arithmetic expression, you have to use is operator. So here is example. Value is 3 into 4 plus 5 into 6, comma. Other value is the value which was computed recently by 11. So value is equal to 42 and other value is equal to 3.8181 like that. So in this way, is operator is used for arithmetic evaluations. Without using predefined functions, if you want to print the if you want to program your own length function. So length of empty list comma 0 dot, that means which is 0. Length here any head tail comma n, then length of tail comma n1, n is n1 plus 1. So this is recursively it will go on. Finally it will print if the empty list is reached and 0 will be substituted, and finally n value will be printed out. So this is the way how manually you can find the length of the given list. In this direction, Prolog will also provide many number of built-in arithmetic functions such as max, square root, mod, etc. Examples are like this. X is max of 8, 6 minus sqrt, which will give you square root, and x is 47 mod 7 star star means square 3, that means cube, that is x is 47 mod 7 cube, that whatever the value will print, that will be whatever the value will be computed, that will be printed here. Other relation operations like greater than, arithmetic equality, greater than, lower, arithmetic inequality, that means is equal to backslash is equal to, greater than or equal to, and lower less than or equal to means is equal to less than. This is the way you are supposed to write. You can also query the execution at the compile time. It is possible to write queries into a program file using colon and hyphen as a prefix operator. They will be executed whenever the program is compiled. For example, in myfile.pl contains the line dot hyphen write of hello comma have a beautiful day. So whenever you say consult of this one, or within the square brackets, if you include the my file, then if you say consult, for example, the consult means it will go for compiling of the code that was present in the myfile.pl and will print the output. Once it printed the output, finally it will give you the compile and how much time it taken to compile and print the result, and what is the final byte code. So this is the way it will print. So in order to go for compile time execution, as a query execution at compile time, you have to prefix hyphen colon hyphen before the statement, so that it will be printed onto the screen once it is compiled. The most powerful feature of the Prolog is backtracking. The reason is whatever the rules or predicates was written in the program, these rule checking will be done in a tree fashion, just like a decision tree. Once it didn't identify the query related information in a particular branch, then it will backtrack and will go to the previous branch, and from there it will search for, it will go into the other direction in search of the query result. So this backtracking is a important concept in the Prolog programming. Basically it uses choice points, that means sub goals, that can be satisfied in more than one way to provide the choice points. Example, for example, member of x comma abc, that is a list is supplied. Here this is a choice point because the variable x could be matched with either a or b or c. That means you are going to check whether the given variable is matched with a or b or c. That means if it is not matched with a, then you have to backtrack and check with b. If it is not matched with b, then you have to backtrack and check with c. So this keep on backtracking will give the functionality of checking each and every variable or each and every element in the given list that is suitable for the given variable or not. So this is the backtracking procedure mainly used in the Prolog programming. In this backtracking, during the goal execution, Prolog keeps track of choice points. If a particular path turns out of the failure, it jumps back to the most recent choice point and tries the next alternative. This is the way of doing the backtracking. Here is a program to present the permutations of the elements in the given list. So here a list was given, and the function is permutation. By 2 means 2 arguments are passed. What are the 2 arguments that are passed here? First one is permutation of 2 empty lists. That means while permutating, sometimes once all permutations are over, the list may become empty, so nothing will proceed further. So this is one rule to be defined. And another rule is here head and tail. This is what the understanding here. This is element means head, this is the oblique symbol, and permutation. That means the first element to be considered, and rest of the elements to be again considered for the permutation. If select of element, that is the first element, this is the first element, and remaining list, what are the list you have supplied, list, and the rest of the list, and take the rest of the list, that is moving the first element, and recursively go for permutation, calling of the permutation. This is calling of the permutation, whatever is there in here. Like this, the recursive function will execute. Thereby, if the list become empty, it will come here and will stop. So permutation of 1, 2, 3, x. So it will give you all permutations. First is 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So what are the all possible permutations possible with this particular list? All these permutations have been printed. In order to perform these permutations without backtracking, it is not possible for the Prolog to print the result. So backtracking is the utmost or core of the Prolog programming. Although backtracking is efficient, but it is very slow. This is one problem. So backtracking is more efficient, but it is slow. And further is asking for alternative solutions sometimes may generate wrong answers for the given predicates. So that is reason this is a biggest problem with the backtracking. Here removing of the duplicate elements in a given list. The duplicate elements maybe there may exist some duplicate elements in the given list. In a backtracking fashion, how these particular duplicate elements will be removed? If this program is considered, remove duplicates to empty lists, remove duplicates head or tail, result. Then checking the member, that is whether the given first element in the list is member of the tail or not. If so, again remove the duplicates. So like that, keep on checking, recursively checking this. Thereby what happened? Remove duplicates of A, B, B, C, A list. Then list is equal to B, C, A, and if you press semicolon and enter again, list is equal to B, B, C, A. So it is recursively permutating all the combinations and checking for the duplicates. Thereby what is happening, the element which is already visited is visiting again and again, but by ignoring the checking of whether the element is already present in the list or not. So this kind of problems sometimes may arise due to backtracking. In order to overcome this disadvantage, a special feature has been introduced in the Prolog called cut. That is cut. Sometimes we want to prevent Prolog from backtracking into certain choice points, either because the alternative would yield some wrong solutions or efficiency reasons. This is possible by using a cut which is written as an exclamatory mark like this. This predefined predicate always succeeds and prevents Prolog from backtracking into sub-goals placed before the cut inside the same rule body. So in the previous example, the remove underscore duplicates head and tail result. It is checking whether the head is a member of the tail or not. But after checking whether the head is a member of the tail, it is not performing anything directly. It is performing the removing of duplicate again using this tail and the subsequent result. But here once this program identifies that the first element is the member of the rest of the list, that means it is a duplicate element, then it has to forget the parent goal, and it should remove the it should not opt for the already visited goal. So thereby it can ignore the already visited goal, and in the next time if the same kind of thing was encountered, the previous goal will be ignored and will proceed further by removing the previous matched element. So this is the way it will do. So the reason a simple modification you can make it to this to eliminate this problem of backtracking, problem with the backtracking, by introducing a cut here, just like this. Here a cut is introduced. So what this cut will do is, whenever a cut is encountered in the rules body, all choices made between the time that rules head has been matched with the parent goal and the time that the cut is passed are final. That is, any choice points are being discarded. That means previous goals or previous choice points that what we have selected for verifying this will be discarded and will never visit the previous choice points in future. This is the way the cuts will help the cut will help from the overcoming of the disadvantages of the backtracking. These cuts will work fine if there is no duplicate element if there exists duplicate elements in the beginning of the list. But if the duplicate elements available at the end of the list, then cut will not give you better result. This is what the disadvantage of the cut. So the problem with the cut is the predicate add by 3 does not work as expected when the last argument is already instantiated. So here dog, comma cat, comma bird, and dog. See here multiple duplicate values are there. Up to here it is fine, but here in the sublist bird, and here in the sublist bird is there, which are last elements. These checking cannot be done using cuts because those are the last elements. Even though it discarded the previous elements, obviously it will stuck between this bird and this bird, and hence it will not give you better result. So these are the concepts related to the backtracking and cuts. Now we'll see some more programs in Prolog. Prolog program for factorial calculation. Always you have to mention the terminating condition first, then you have to write the rule. So the terminating condition is if the factorial value n reaches 0, then it should return 1. Then factorial of n comma f, n greater than 0, and that means if n is greater than 0, the next value will be computed. n1 is n minus 1. This is arithmetic expression. Then factorial, repeatedly call the same function, which is called recursion. Factorial of n1 comma f1. So once it is called, f now will become f is n into f1, means the n value into the subtracted value. So recursively this particular factorial program will give you the factorial of a given number. So this is the way how the recursive statements will be written in the Prolog program. Next, Prolog program for the Fibonacci series. In this Fibonacci series, I told you previously also, always write the terminating conditions first. If fib of 0, then give you 1, fib of 1, it will print 1, then fib of variables capital N and X. If n is greater than 1, then n2 is n minus 2, fib of n2 x2, n1 is n minus 1, fib of n1 x1, where x is x1 plus x2. So this is the way how we'll structure the recursive functions in Prolog program. However, just now we have seen this removing of the duplicates function in Prolog slides, in the lecture slides discussed here. Because of the introduction of the cut here, it avoids the unnecessary backtracking. This is the program which represents the insertion sort. Insert sort list comma sorted, I underscore sort of list comma empty and sorted. Always default conditions should be written first. I underscore sort of empty ACC, I underscore sort of head and tail, the ACC and sorted, then insert of h, which is a variable, ACC NACC, and I underscore sort of t comma NACC sorted. Then how this particular insertion will takes place? If x is greater than y, insert x comma t comma nt. What is x? X is a list. What is t? Tail value. What is nt? New tail value. So this is the way this particular insertion sort will be performed. This is in case of x is greater than y, and if x is less than or equal to y, then what operation to be performed? In other case, what operation to be performed? So this is the insertion sort. So I recommend you to go through this insertion sort and copy and paste in the online compiler and see the result. Next is a demo of several ways to make loop. Loop means is a kind of iteration. These are the programs which will give you recursion, failure driven loop, okay, which is recursively going and printing some values, and mapping by underscore map of list, map list of right ln and list. Next is interactive looping. Repeat is used for especially for interactive looping. It is just like enter a choice. If the choice is not equal, then keep on repeat the loop that we might have done in the C programming. See, since you are very new to the Prolog programming language, it looks somewhat very new. Nothing to worry in this, just to copy and paste it and see one by one step, line by line, how these particular steps are executing in the online compiler, and mainly focus on the programs that I have presented in the material, and also the programs that are there in the tutorial. Next one, final one, is example that accepts simple sentence. A simple sentence is the combination of subject, a word, verb, W and predicate. Sentence is subject, word, verb. So what are the different combinations that a sentence can make? All possible combinations was written. W means here a width space here, not word. So noun, what are the possible nouns that may occur? Verb means what are the possible verbs that may occur. So this is the way first defining. Then poem of poem is phrase of sentence comma poem. So whatever you type some statements as the input, it will check whether this is equal to a type of poem or not. That means sentence, phrases and poem. So that means this particular statements is going to give some phrases in the poem or not. So that will be printed. If it is matched, it will give you true, or it will otherwise it will give you no as the output. So this is the way how the Prolog programs was written. So your task is now simply develop the rules of your choice. Whatever the rules you want to develop, you develop it. Try to include in the online compiler, compile it, see the output, and also since I have provided some programs here, you try to exercise these programs and practice the list operations. Here empty list, simple list, list of lists, okay, how to choose the head and tail. So these operations, list operations were also provided here. Your task is just to copy and paste it and see the result, and try to do your own exercises. Anyhow, I have provided one material, Prolog tutorial, in the lecture materials. Download it and go through that once, and answer the tutorial questions, and create your own programs of your choice and try to do on the online compiler and see the result. So to summarize, basically Prolog programming will use backtracking. Backtracking allows Prolog to find all alternative solutions to a given query. That is, Prolog provides the search strategy, not the programmer. This is why Prolog called a declarative language. That means it will mainly focus on the task execution. Carefully placed cuts can be used to prevent Prolog from backtracking into certain sub goals. This may make a program more efficient or avoid the generation of the wrong alternatives. On the downside, cut can destroy the declarative character of the Prolog program. The reason is, if the instances are present in two different lists at the end, then the cut will not work. So in this Prolog programming or logic programming language, we have seen only one language called Prolog. There are some other language called Datalog and ASP. So they have also their own advantages and disadvantages, or strengths or weaknesses. However, Prolog is a very simple programming language. So we have seen that. We have not seen each and what are the possible features available in Prolog. However, we have seen only few features. It is to realize how logically this Prolog functions and can be useful for the artificial intelligence applications. So this is the end of the Prolog programming. In the next lecture, we will start with the new topic.